feel like I'm talking about it all the time. And it's like, no. It's
No.
like,
And then you'll still get the message like, "Oh, I didn't know you had that." Or, "Oh,
right.
I missed it. I missed the pre-order." And that just shows that even when you're like, "Oh,
Yeah,
I people are bored by me," but they're not because they're
right.
out living their lives. They're seeing all the other content out on in the world, so you need to make sure that you are showing up, sharing about it in different ways,
Yeah.
and just getting that message out there.
Welcome, Kat. I'm so excited for you to be here to talk about all things social media. As you know, I'm a brand photographer, so I'm all about the visuals, the photography, the video, and strategy is always such a big hot topic because we both speak to business owners. So that's why I'm
Yes.
super excited to have our conversation today. Let's start off with how you got into this business because I'm always fascinated with how people started and then where you are now.
Yeah, and I love chatting about it because it is like a really cool kind of full circle moment. So I'm a small town like girly, born and raised, and then when I was going deciding what I wanted to do for, life, I moved to Toronto, so I'm Canadian. Moved to Toronto to study advertising and like thought I would do the whole like ad agency thing and very quickly realized that the advertising industry was not the life I wanted to live. I really, really loved what I was learning and like I got that really well-rounded education in terms of like advertising, copywriting, design, like was able to look at like the psychology of it, but had no interest in the like you'll sleep when you're dead kind of mindset that the ad agency world was really like pushing at us.
Brutal.
So, and when I was in school, it was kind of just this time where brands were really starting to use social. So, like, Twitter was really like what I got started in, and like, how can we leverage this as businesses? And so that's really how I got started and finished up school, left, moved to a new small town, and really saw this huge opportunity for those small town businesses, those main street businesses to use social. And so that's where I took my, big city education and brought it to the main street, the hometown businesses.
I love that. Now, do you find I'm sure your clients vary. Like I love brand photography because of just like the variety of the different like the businesses that I get to
Yeah.
interact with and stuff. Do you find that are you working with online businesses and like the traditional like brick and mortar businesses as well?
Yeah, so it is a really good mix, and like my big thing is the community aspect. So obviously a brick and mortar or a like business that serves a like geographic location has that built-in like geographic community that they're building. But I also love working with online businesses who have that really strong community focus and are still really passionate about building that connection, even not in person but online.
Do you find that there's unique challenges between the two, or there a common thread with challenges with when it comes to social media for these small businesses?
Yeah, and I like there are definitely some different challenges depending like online versus more geographic community-based businesses. But I think overall the main pain point that they're facing is like social. Most of the tips and education out there is designed not even for online business owners. It's like the content creators and the course, like the coaches. And small businesses are then trying to fit their square peg into a round hole and it's not quite working. And it can feel really dejecting because you're like, I'm trying to do the things that they're saying,
Yeah.
or you like literally can't do the things when they're talking about like have to be posting or the type of content and you're like I physically can't do that and see clients all day or make my products and it's just this like it can feel really hard.
Yeah, I when I'm with my clients, like we touch on strategy, but just for the project that we're working on per
Hmm.
se. So if it's like a website redesign, we're really getting the content to fit in for those pieces for the
Yeah.
website designer, for the copywriter, for example. Or let's say they're launching a new Kindle subscription. We need content specific for that one item, but I am always encouraging them to continue the momentum of capturing
Yeah.
content because I cannot be there every day with all my clients. And I'm sure even with social media, you can't be there every day. And I'm always giving them kind of like tips or like encouragement, but I love that you provide like the strategy. Like, here is now, I know there's a lot of different avenues someone could work with someone like you with, but I love that there's an option that their social content for them specifically because every business is unique. Everyone has unique challenges and can be curated for them.
Yeah. And I love what you're saying about the like encouraging people to capture content because like that is the best thing small businesses can do. Even if you don't know how you'll use it or when you'll use it, just having that there is going to be such a helpful piece for you to save time and like not have the pressure of always having to be creating because you're just capturing as you go.
Yes.
And it doesn't always have to be these like big things that you're capturing. And like the best thing I think small businesses can do right now is share as they go, not always wait for the finished product. So this idea of like I'm launching a candle subscription. Okay, so I'm gonna be working behind the scenes, I'm gonna do all these things, and then I'm gonna launch it, and it's gonna be this like big exciting thing, which is great, but there's a huge opportunity to share the behind the scenes of that and like bring me along for the brand shoot for it and show the photos you're capturing and like the that you're up the one night late editing your website before it goes live. Like people want to connect with the story behind the business, so when we can
Yes.
share what we're building, it goes a really long way.
You're speaking my language. I knew this was going to be amazing because it's that story, but I work with a ton of makers, artists, and designers, and that
Mhm.
process is so critical because people want to see that there's a human behind the actual business that they're investing in or that they're buying from, and people want to be transported into your world, into the studio, into the workshop, the office. They want to be a part of the journey. And especially with all this talk with AI and people worried about AI, I think you're like creative small business owners are in this prime time spot to show actual humans doing the work and capturing that. It does not have to be a full video shoot. It's just, I'm always encouraging just capture that everyday content because you're continuing the story. Yes, of course, there's always reasons why like a professional shoot
Yes.
might be needed, but you're continuing that story in that journey and it's authentic. If you are just doing a time lapse or you just have your hair up in a ponytail and you're moving around, like, it's okay. That's good. Like, the perfectionism thing, are you seeing that too, where sometimes people are getting hung up like it's not perfect, so they don't want to post?
Yeah, and I think it comes down to like if we think about Instagram of 5, 10 years ago, it was super curated. Like
Yeah,
all we saw was the very like the flat lays and everything so perfect and like short form video wasn't a thing.
yeah.
And I think we can really like feel stuck in that sometimes or feel like that's like what's still needed is we need to show this like perfect side of our business. But actually that content is going to perform a lot like if that real content is going to perform a lot better because we had this like shift of like let's fighting back against the overly curated. So like yes, we still need professional photos and videos, and they can still go a long way on social, but it's not all we need. And having
Yeah.
that real stuff of like the behind the scenes, and I hear from clients all the time of like the concern of like making things perfect. And it is like there is no like one tip that's gonna help fight through that, but it is like
Yeah.
a muscle that you just need to flex. Like, what if I show up in stories today
Mhm.
and just let it kind of the real nice real life behind the scenes, and then letting that slowly seep into your feed content of like this is just your life and people want to see that.
I always, let me get your take on this. I always give the advice, especially for camera shy people or people that just, it's not the day to be they're not ready to talk to camera. And even a voiceover, that is a skill too. But
Yeah.
step one, basic. I always suggest either a time lapse because you're moving around, you don't have to talk to camera, but someone can see you and that they're in their space, or something with even their hands working because you're still humanizing the content, but it's like that easy step in and that starts the momentum. Do you have like a easy one step? Is that something you recommend too, or what are your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely like finding those opportunities to test the waters a little bit. So it's like filming from over your shoulder, like with a tripod, or from the side, doing time lapse, or just filming something as you go and then cutting that into really small chunks of like editing for movement. So, like, if
Mm.
you were pouring candles, we'll keep using this candle idea. If you're filming yourself pouring candles, is like you take that 10-minute clip, let's say, of you putting together a box or pouring the candles, and then you clip it into little clips of like mixing the also the candle syrup, like mixing the wax,
Yeah.
like putting in the stem in it, and like so it's like these quick jump cuts between this behind the scenes, and it's like allows it. Oh, there you are, like a little bit in that frame, and oh, there's your hands, where it's not you talking to the camera or like straight up of your face, but again, it humanizes it. It shows like, oh, there is the maker, there's the person, there's a reason I'm going to pay a bit more for this candle versus ordering something off Amazon. And being able to tell your story and show it is the reason why people get invested and support small businesses.
Now, how do you advise for, we'll just run with this candle example, like I there seems to be obviously this new push, if we're talking Instagram, from like a year ago that's more like, maybe the text overlay on top of a reel, the carousel posts are getting pumped up again. I always like to test things out, different lengths of things, different, if it's a short reel, a longer reel, doing text overlays, doing voiceovers. I'm always testing. I'm comfortable because I've been doing it for so long.
Mhm.
But is the text overlay giving context to what someone's seeing visually probably the first step one in trying to get a story across and maybe explaining what someone's seeing, or is there any insight there?
Yeah, so like a B-roll, what that is like the behind the scenes, like capturing what you're doing. We'd call that B-roll video. And so just like capturing the day to day of all the different things. And that is going to be like your easiest content to create when it comes to showing up on video, is like you're grabbing that video, you're adding that text on screen, and knowing that it doesn't always have to match the video. So it's not like a text about packing orders. It can be about like the feeling your audience has before they light that candle, or like what
Ooh.
does lighting that candle mean. So really thinking about like anytime we can talk about what our audience is going through, that content is always going to perform better. Like, won't say always, typically, because that's what people want. Like, we
Yeah.
want to feel like seen and heard on social. So it's not just like, hey, here's my business, but it's really
Yeah.
framing it from your community and your customers' point of view of like, you're not just selling a candle, you're selling that like way to decompress after work when the kids, like the house is a mess and you need that 5 minutes to like clean in peace, like really setting the scene for those scenarios that your audience can see themselves in.
I love that. Any other things that you're seeing on the horizon for Instagram? Or obviously, I think they just launched a new, like when you open it, the format of
The
it.
feed,
Yeah, the
yeah,
feed.
looks a
I
bit
haven't,
different.
yeah, I don't know if you have it in Canada. I think UK has, some of it's been pushed out. I haven't seen it yet on my end.
No, I haven't seen it. I think it's like some accounts have it right now, some
Yeah,
don't. So like Instagram will always be experimenting to see like,
yeah,
okay, how can we keep people on the app, keep them happy? With that new change, it really is like putting like easier to access reels and messages because that's where they're finding people are spending the most time on the platform. So they want to like foster that. So definitely short form video not going away. And then with the messages piece for small businesses, it's like really thinking
yeah.
about shares with our content. So like going through your insights and seeing what content has led to the most shares. Because anytime our content can be part of those conversations happening in messages, that's going to be really important for engagement.
Now, is that different than the repost?
And then like the reposts is a way to like share something to your audience of like, hey, I think you would like this.
Yeah.
You can also use it to repost your own content, which is something I've been
Ooh.
experimenting with some clients. Is
Okay.
like, hey, this reel didn't perform as well as I anticipated or I thought it would, and just reposting it with the repost icon button. You can add a little bit of extra context with the note feature. Like when you repost it, you can add a little note.
Ooh, okay.
And that has led to, in some cases, like doubling the amount of views on a piece of content.
Okay.
Obviously, we want to use it like strategically and not just be always like
Yeah.
reposting.
Yeah.
Because Instagram is really good at like noticing when people are abusing or misusing
Yeah.
a feature. But it can be great that, yeah, like maybe you posted it late at night and you're like, wasn't the best time to post it. I just posted it because I wanted to get it done. What
Yeah.
about, yeah, the next day you reshare it and seeing like getting those additional eyes on on your content.
I love your website when went on. It's so fun, so bright and colorful. Obviously, the pink. You're still repping the pink in this
Yeah.
in this too. And I thought it was great. I thought you could share like how you support businesses. Someone might think, oh, like I don't need all of this. It's
Yeah.
nice that you provide where people are at and how to support them.
Yeah, my favorite way to support businesses, especially the makers, the artisans, is through my membership, the Social with Cat Club. And it's kind of built upon weekly Reels prompts. So taking what's trending and different ideas and translating them for small businesses of like, hey, here's how you can create this and how you can use this for your business. But it's really like a wraparound social support. So there's actually lots of businesses in the membership who don't create any trending reels.
Okay.
They're creating the B-rolls, they're doing talk to camera videos, but it's like, their brand isn't they're not gonna be making like a silly video, which is like
Yeah.
total respect, right?
Yeah.
So it really is built upon that like having a social media strategist in your back pocket because for most of us, like you started your business, you didn't think about having to be a marketer or a
Yeah.
content creator. And so having that support. So we have the weekly Reels prompts. We do a workshop each month on different social media topics. There's Q&A calls and we have a Slack community. So ways to get that support and just like, is
Oh,
this
wow.
is this idea good?
Yeah.
Uh, how can this reel be better? So that is my like I just love it and we have like a really cool mix of businesses from makers, clothing stores, web designers. So a really good mix of businesses. And it's really cool to see the community that's being built in there.
That's amazing.
So that is my monthly membership. And then from there, different options. So if you're like, I don't want to be creating content, I have content parties where, depending if you're local to me, I can come film content or travel or give you the crash course in terms of these are the videos I need from you. These are the photos, and then I'm taking off your plate and creating it. So
Mhm.
lots of different ways depending on that level of support. But really, it's just like you don't have to do this by yourself, and it's okay that it's like it feels like hard. It's like you're not doing anything wrong. This is a
Yeah.
whole big thing on its own.
Yeah. That's what I always find. It's like you didn't go into, becoming a furniture designer or an artist or like you didn't go into this to also be like a photographer or like
Mhm.
a marketing person. And most of my clients, they don't have a marketing person, they don't have a
Mhm.
marketing team. I always have to put that marketing hat on when I'm capturing and we're like building out their shoots. I love that like you're supporting that community too because it is overwhelming and
Yeah.
it's in the beginning it seems like it takes so much time, but I'm always reassuring people the more you do it, the faster you will become and more comfortable you become. But it's just really hard to get started in that momentum. So the fact that someone could reach out to you just to get that momentum going and like being in
Yeah.
that community and being motivated by everyone else, stepping up and showing up,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah, and I love that's like the biggest thing for me is it's not about doing more necessarily on social, but like optimizing our time because like as solopreneurs, like there's a lot of things we have to do, and social media like shouldn't be the only avenue we're marketing our business. So like
Yeah.
I want you to spend less time creating content so that you can go send another email to your email list or you can work on your website, like all these pieces. And so like for me, the biggest wins like that I love to hear from members of my community is like they used to spend 2 hours creating a reel because they'd be like scrolling and then creating it, overthinking it, and now in an hour they're sitting down and getting their content done for the week
Wow.
and they're done, and then they can just go back to doing other things in their business, and they're like posting more, they're getting more reach, all these pieces, and it's having those returns in their business, but also it's taking them less time.
Yeah. That's amazing because do you find that they are the ones doing it or if they have a team member, they might be pulling them in to get the content of the main owner or whoever?
Yeah. And the majority of my clients are solo.
Okay.
And so yeah, it is them figuring it out, like all of us, right? We're trying
Yeah.
to like capture the content. And so working out what's the workflow going to look like for them? Like, when are you capturing the things? When is it fitting in your calendar? That's something I always like
Mhm.
to talk about because it's like, it is not just going to get done. And I think
Yeah.
we like, oh, I'll just make that post. But of course, like things happen, all like every day is so busy that it's social is typically like the thing that's easiest to kick the can down the road. So I'm
Yes.
big on helping like, okay, we have a co-working call every Monday in the club.
Oh,
So
nice.
that's like you're coming, you're getting your content done, everyone's here, we're all working so that you have that time in your calendar. Because if not, it just like it will never happen.
Yes. I love that. Do you have any like fun client like success stories that you want to share?
Yeah. Well, recently, I won't share too many details, but I had FabFitFun reach out to a client, and they found
Okay.
them through social content that we created.
Love
And so,
it.
like, that is just really cool. And it's like, even when thing like you're not going viral or you're like, oh, like, is it like, right? Can get
Yeah.
caught up in some of those like more like vanity metrics.
Yes.
people are watching, and unfortunately people's like engagement levels have changed, and like people are watching your content and they're like consuming it and they're liking it, but they're not actually physically like double tapping it, but people are watching. And so it's really cool when you have those things where it is like, oh, they bought this because they saw on social.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can be like it's the content that didn't perform quote unquote the best that is actually leading to those conversions in your business because the right people are seeing it because you've done that great work to foster the community and get the content out there.
I love that. I always view it as like I'm planting a seed. I'm just planting another
Hmm.
seed, and you really don't know who's watching. It's always so fun when things like evolve and like someone does reach out and you're like,
Hmm.
how did they come my way? And when you see, watch or the go back on the breadcrumbs, it's just like
Yeah.
I always love the story. So thank you for sharing that one. That's always so exciting because people want that instant gratification too. Like, okay, I just put 2 hours into this reel. I want, all
Yeah.
these watchers. And it's like, okay, that's great. But social, I always say, is a long game. Do you agree with that too? Do you always mention that?
100%. Like you can have those really quick wins from social, and like anytime that happens, that is great, but that shouldn't be the expectation. It's like if that happens,
Yeah.
that's like a bonus,
Yeah.
but social is that you're building a community, and that doesn't happen overnight, and it takes time for people to get to know you and for you to get comfortable sharing, that it does take that time. And there's like from the 1930s, there like movie executives coined this phrase, the rule of seven. And it was that someone needed to hear your message 7 times before they are ready to like buy or like even remember it. And so that was 100 years ago. So I feel like it's more like 77 or something now, that like it
Yeah.
takes people time to think of, like if they saw your post but they were in line at the grocery store, or they were breastfeeding their baby, or they were, checking their phone quickly. They saw it, but they didn't register. They didn't have
Yeah.
time to actually like consume it. So it's like you need to share it again, and you can't
Yeah.
just post the one time about your thing. It takes that build up of awareness and momentum. And I think that's like just like it can be frustrating to hear that, but what I want you to take away from that is that like you can share the same thing in different ways over and over again. And you need to like you're launching your new winter scents for your candle company. It's like tell me this over and over again in different ways so that I can take and actually get that information, because that one post isn't enough.
I totally agree. Some of my clients are like, I feel like I'm talking about it all the time, and it's like, no. It's
No.
like,
And then you'll still get the message like, oh, I didn't know you had that. Or, oh,
right.
I missed it. I missed the pre order. And that just shows that even when you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I, people are bored by me, but they're not, because they're
Right.
out living their lives. They're seeing all the other content out in the world. So you need to make sure that you are showing up, sharing about it in different ways,
Yeah.
and just getting that message out there.
Well, I always like, I know people get frustrated when, for instance, with Instagram, if they add a new feature or they,
Hmm.
when I started, there were no reels and there
Yeah,
were no, like,
same.
and I know people were getting frustrated, like, oh, now I have to do this thing and now I have to do that thing. But I actually welcome it because it's another creative way I could say the same message over and
Hmm.
over again. Because after a while, it does get boring. Like, here I go again, I'm going to do a still image or a carousel.
Yeah.
But like when Reels came up, it's like, okay, now I can add more video and make this more dynamic or do like carousels have grown and like
Hmm.
I welcome it because now it's just another creative outlet and way that you can get the messaging across. So I try to get that, let people know that's how I feel, even though they're like so frustrated and like over
Yeah.
it. But
It does give you so many opportunities to share the same message in different ways. So like I'm launching my winter collection, let's say. I can do product photos as a carousel. I can do right now, which is like one of the most popular forms of content, is an image carousel with text on top that's like written in Instagram. That can tell a story about like the scents, if I'm a candle company, the scents in the collection, and like, oh, this is, I grew up on a Christmas tree farm, and this is bringing me back telling that story. I
Love
can
it.
do a B-roll reel of me packing or like making the things. I can do a voiceover of like behind the scenes. I can do a talk to camera where I'm smelling the candles and like describing them. Like there's like five different ways right at the top to talk about the your winter
Fun thing.
collection
Yeah.
without repeating the same message, and you're going to get different parts of your audience because some are more likely to watch reels, some are going to be more scrollers of carousels, so you want to be able to reach all those different people and give them the opportunity to see your content.
Oh my God, that's amazing. I love that. Yeah, it's like that one sliver of content or whatever you're creating
Mm-hmm.
can be now transformed and you can multiply and you can grab, just like when you're building a website. Like a lot of this is reminding me of like going through a website where it's like you're going to have people that just skim. You're going to have people
Yeah.
that really want to see every piece of detail that you can share.
Yeah.
So it just goes back to that business like minded content, but I love that you're injecting like the fun into it too, and that you have like the community. I love that.
Yeah, because like we have to spend time marketing our business,
I
and
know.
if it's the worst thing on your list, you're not going to
Yeah.
want to do it. So like let's
Yeah.
have a little bit more fun with it. And that also that comes through in your content, and for your audience is like, oh, they can see you actually enjoying this, and it
Yeah.
goes a long way for building that community.
Yeah. And it's free. Like Instagram is free for you to be like out there marketing versus
Mm-hmm.
like you just want to. I always think of it as like if you went to a market and you set up your whole booth of all your things that you've just made, you would never just put a sign out and say pay here and leave
Mm-hmm.
and just have it just sit there.
Hope for the best.
You would be there, you would be interacting with people, you'd be maybe you're doing a demo, maybe you're showing different sizes, how they can use the product. You're talking with people, they see your face, they are connected with you as the maker or creator. Now they're invested. It's that same
Mm-hmm.
mindset, but in this social world, this digital
Yeah.
world.
Yeah, and it lets you connect to people locally, but then also
Yeah,
beyond your local area. So it is
yeah,
like it's such a opportunity for independent businesses and the makers and the creators. Like I know it can feel like, oh, it's only content creators now, and that if
yeah,
I need to be doing all these things, but like it's actually such untapped potential for
yeah.
the indie business owners.
Do you find your the individuals coming into your programs are at a certain point in their business? Have they been in business for a few years?
I don't think there's a specific age of business. Like I think there's a lot I have brand new business owners who they're like getting started, and they're like, I know this is important and I want to work on it. And
Oh,
other
good.
ones who have been doing it for a while and they're like, okay, I need to do something new and like freshen things up. For me, it's more like the mindset of the business owner that like you
Mm,
understand the importance of it, whether you're just starting or you've been in business for a few years. It's that you have been already spending, like you've already invested in your social and your marketing, even if that's your time,
yeah,
you are putting in that time, you are showing up, and now you're like, I need to do it in a new way. I need to spend less time doing this. I need some fresh ideas and I need to be more strategic with it. And that's really where businesses have the most success.
that's amazing. It is the mindset that really when you believe that this is the path that you need to go down, and like you
Hmm.
are fully invested on like, okay, I want to try to make this work, because what you're doing in the past, you're not getting the results. So you need to try something new,
Hmm.
try step outside that box. Well, amazing. This, I mean, I could go on and on about this topic, but any last, like, if someone has been, they know this, they're in like, okay, yep,
Hmm.
this is, I know I need to tackle this, especially with the new year upcoming in
Yeah.
2026. Is there something that they could, take action on this week? And then what are the best ways to get in contact with you?
Yeah. Okay. I love this question. I think it kind of goes back to what we were just talking about is that it's not all going to happen at once, but you can start implementing this idea that social media is part of your job description. Like you are the CEO, owner, maker, all the things, but like part of that is like you're the director of the marketing department of your business. And so the easiest thing you can do is put aside that time in your calendar, and we can work on like, okay, how do we make the most of this time? How do we have the post ideas ready for you? But even just starting with an hour in your calendar, I always say like Monday or the first day of your work week, because things haven't, the fires haven't started yet, and you
Yep.
can actually sit down and focus like how to make it more cozy for, like, do you have a candle going, are you like listening to your favorite music, you have a blanket, your coffee, all these things, and just like starting to set aside that time for your business, because that's, I could give you the best strategies, I could tell you what to post, but if you don't have the time set aside, you're not going to be able to actually implement on that. So that is like the first piece. And then the second piece of it is actually to take some time offline. Because I think when we're in this point of like, we know we need to be on social, it's really easy for it to become like all encompassing, and we're scrolling at night and we're comparing ourselves to others, and we're like stressed about the posts that we didn't make. And like one of the best things we can do is actually just like put our phone away and give our brain that creative space it needs to then be able to show up in a way that feels good for us, instead of always comparing and feeling less than when we're looking at social.
Love that.
So, setting aside the time in your calendar and then also setting aside time where you're not on social would be like my homework. And then come find me on Instagram at Social Cat Media, and that's cat with a K. So I'm always sharing post ideas and tips. I right now am like on a big screen time journey exploration, and so I'm sharing a lot about that too. And like boundaries and mental health are things that are really important to me. So it's like the strategy and the post ideas, but also like we are humans and how do we make this work for our lives. So I spend lots of time on Instagram, but you'll find me spending a little bit less time there in the near future. And then kind of from there, you can all my other links. So it's socialcatmedia.com. You can find about my membership, the Social with Cat Club. And I just love using social as a way to connect and chat and make those connections.
Amazing. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Kat. Yes, everyone check out Social Cat Media. I'm going to leave all the links and information down below. Thank you so, so much. And I cannot wait. I'm sure we'll be chatting soon again.
Can't wait.